I hope you're listening fine. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the future of the real estate tokenization. I was here a little bit before on a panel discussing it, and basically I've been working with Kodo Assets as a COO, and the co-founders, everyone asks us where the co-founders come from, and they come from the real estate market, the really straight, old-fashioned real estate world. And I come from crypto. Ever since 2012, I've been in the space. I've been one of the first enthusiasts of the space. And I have been working a lot on crypto education, on getting to know people and getting knowledge to the people about cryptos and Bitcoin and Ethereum and etc. and how it can change dramatically old-fashioned industries like real estate. So this whole presentation is to bring you an overview on what we are seeing and what will be the future of real estate and real estate tokenization. So basically, when we are talking about real estate itself, of course, all of us want to have a little piece of land to call ours. But when we are talking about real estate itself, we see a huge barrier to entry. Why? Because purchasing a whole real estate is quite expensive everywhere. Whether in Brazil, in the Bahamas, where we are headquartered, here in Dubai, in Spain, Russia, everywhere. So there's a huge barrier to enter this market, whether you're investing on it or you're purchasing that per use. So we also see a lot of lack of liquidity. And why is that? Because the prices are so high that the market, the demand for this type of asset is quite low, because people are willing to pay for that, but whether they don't have the money or they don't have access to the capital to financing the real estate. And that's a reality in the whole world. Take Brazil, for instance. We only see 2% of the total GDP in credit for real estate. Also, the transaction costs. Everywhere there is a public notary that wants and is entitled to receive a lot of money when you transfer a property from one to another. And also we see, because of those notaries and because the lots and lots of bureaucracy and legislation, we see the bureaucracy here as a huge problem in the real estate market. So when those guys, the co-founders of Kodo Assets, look at for me, they were actually trying to approach real estate in a different way. They wanted to know from me, how could blockchain change all of this? And if could blockchain change all of this? And my answer to them was yes, of course it can, but it has to be done from scratch, because no one is actually doing it the way it should be done. So what I told them is what I'm about to tell you now is this. The tokenization advantages specifically for the real estate market are: first, the digitalization. We have the representation of the real estate as a digital asset, and that's huge. Why? Because it brings the next point of the next topic of this presentation, which is the fragmentation, the divisibility of the real estate. What we are putting together in Kodo 1, for instance, which is our first token, is a property that otherwise only a few would be able to afford. It's a $3.5 million property that is located in the very financial center of the whole Latin America. And for this, who here would have $3.5 million to spend as an investment in a really nice commercial building in Latin America? Hey, raise hands. To invest right now, $3.5 million. Almost nobody. But if I told you that by doing this, we have fragmented that same real estate into 25,000 pieces, and each piece will be worth $140, How many of you would have 140 US dollars to invest in property? Raise hands. I see. It's much simpler when you can fragment the asset. And the divisibility is huge for the real estate market. Also, we cannot never ever forget the benefits of blockchain. There's transparency for issuing and for transacting in each one of the tokens that we are issuing right now. And finally, the efficiency of this type of tokenization. Why? Because it dramatically reduces the transaction costs and the bureaucracy. I don't have to go to the notary every time I want to transfer a token from one to another. I don't have to pay for the taxes that would levy if I was selling a whole property. I don't have to fulfill those requirements any longer because now I have turned my real estate into tiny little pieces that are tokenized and are tradable through a blockchain system. In our case, Polygon's blockchain. So, introducing Kodo assets, which is the alternative that I was telling you before. What we are doing is a platform for tokenizing real estate. We have, because regulations are absolutely mandatory for this type of assets, we are regulated by the Bahamas. And why? Because Bahamas has a really strong legal framework for those cases, for tokenization. Many people have asked us, oh, but FTX was in the Bahamas and that happened, so how does that leave you? That leaves us 5 months behind the launch dates that we were expected to launch Kodo 1 because all the requirements for the regulations are so high nowadays that we needed to fulfill lots and lots of further requirements and questions and documents and everything you can imagine in order to put this together. And the filing was finally made in the Bahamas on February 1st this year. And of course, we are talking about 100% ownership of the tokenizing real estate. In this case, in the case of Kodo 1, we own 100% of the property that we are tokenizing. So we have no problems regarding governance, we have no problems regarding other co-owners, we have no problems regarding that. So as this first project that I was mentioning to you, the white paper is available at our website, which is kodoassets.com. It is a security token offer because the token we are offering, in our view, is a security. Why? Because we are dealing property as an investment. And every time you see people dealing property as an investment, soy crops as investments, cow as investments, anything as an investment, you should be talking about the security token. So pay attention to that every time you see tokenized projects everywhere, right? So we are launching an STO, as we call it, a security token offer, which is a public offer registered in the Bahamas. The underlying asset is a commercial property of 552.58 square meters, which is located in the Faria Lima region in São Paulo, Brazil. For those who don't know São Paulo, Brazil, and specifically the Faria Lima region is where Google is, Facebook is, every company that matters is in that very region. If you want to be someone in the whole Latin America, you want to have a branch, you want to have an office in the Faria Lima region. And that's why we have chosen that spot and that real estate to be the first one that we tokenize. This real estate that we are tokenizing is currently rented by a multinational and will be rented until June 2025. Paying about 6% a year of dividends adjusted by the Brazilian inflation yearly. So the ITO launch, the initial token offer launch, will happen on March 22nd, and there will be a pre-sale available on March 20th and 21st. So for those who want to purchase, to participate on the pre-sale, I highly recommend you to enter our website, kodoassets.com/whitelist. So you can get an NFT and cashback when you purchase Kodo One tokens. And what is Kodo One? As I mentioned, it's the first token that we are issuing. This is our MVP, and it entitles the token holders to have the economic rights to the property. So basically, the token holders of Kodo One may profit two ways. First way, from the dividends itself. So there's someone who rents the property, and this person or company in this case pays to rent that property. We take out the taxes, the fees, etc. And then you have the dividends to distribute to the token holders. And this is basically renting real estate 101, but we are going to pay that directly in the user's wallet in USDC every 3 months. The second way to profit from it is from capital gains. And when I talk about capital gains in Latin America, which is an industry that most of you don't know, I'm talking about a place. São Paulo is actually, if São Paulo was a country, it would be the 10th largest economy in the world. So São Paulo is huge. And when I'm talking about the Faria Lima region, can you imagine how big that is and how big that would be? If you compare the real estate market of São Paulo to other similar cities like Lisbon or Chicago, you realize that the price per square meter is half the price. So what we see now is a huge demand for real estate in Brazil. The demand is growing up. There are not enough real estate to cover that demand, especially in the Faria Lima region. The vacancy is so low, is lowest than 5%. So there's a huge potential for appreciation of the token price only because of this, because of the possibility that the property itself is worth more in the future than it's worth today. And of course, we are using blockchain technology, we are using Polygon. And why we are using Polygon? Because everyone wants to use Ethereum, but the high fees don't allow us to. So because of the fees, we are on Polygon. And the stablecoin choice was USDC. And why USDC? Because that's the only stablecoin that's actually monthly audited and issued by Circle, and that is the most trustful one in our view. That's why we have chosen to work with USDC to every payment that we are going to make. For the token sale, we are going to receive any type of stable coins, but to make the payments, we are going to pay with USDC. And when we talk about tokenization, our belief is that the world will be tokenized. Given the benefits of tokenization, it's not possible to imagine a world in the future where things that could benefit from tokenization are not tokenized. So when I'm talking about real estate, this is our first project. There are a few other initiatives in the world who are trying to put together something like we are. Some of them, most of them, have not realized that there's no way to escape regulations. That's why we have went straight to a place where regulations are, not easy, not affordable, to be quite honest, but they are in place, they exist, and they allow us to do what we want to do the way we want to do it. We are not disguising our token into a utility token or some other type of token. No, we are selling real estate as an investment, which is basically what every initiative of real estate tokenization wants to be doing, right? For Kodo One, our projections are a 15% year-over-year appreciation of the asset value, and that's basically because last year that was the appreciation of the real estate prices in the region that I was mentioning to you before, and the dividends of 6%, which is basically passive income, which all of us love, adjusted by annually by the inflation, the Brazilian inflation. The Brazilian inflation, by the time we wrote the white paper, was 8.48%, if I'm not mistaken. Now it's about 6% a year. So you get those 6% adjusted 6% a year or so. So basically, those are our social networks. Our website is www.kodoassets.com. I highly recommend you to enter the /whitelist to benefit from all the NFT, the cashback from purchasing Kodo ones that you may benefit right now. And that's our project. I'm so proud to present to you today. Thank you very much.